cultural diversity in British Columbia has one root to it, and that's gold.
In the history books, we're called the Plateau people because we live on the small plateaus along the Fraser River. It's an area that we've always respected, and it is the central point of our nation.
Those that came to British Columbia were obviously in search of a better life. Though they may have been initially attracted by gold, there was much more than that. They were in search of opportunity.
Prior to the gold rush, there had been very few non-native people on the mainland of British Columbia. We don't know exactly how many, but in the order of 25 or 30,000 people in the span of a year are coming into British Columbia. Suddenly, with this influx of Americans, the Colonial Office in London has got to do something, or it's going to lose this territory to the United States.
When our people first encountered the miners, they were really concerned of the type of work that the miners are doing on the river and the adverse impact they could have on migrating salmon.
British Columbia, Chinese people at one point call it Gold Mountain because the streets were paved with gold and people succumbed to the lure of unimaginable wealth because of the gold that was here.
To understand where British Columbia is now, we have to go to Barkerville and understand what happened there. And at one point, Barkerville was called the Valley of the Flags because there's so many different people from different parts of the world.
My great-grandfather came here in 1879, and the lure of gold was what brought him here, and it brought many people. But once he was here, because he had to borrow money for passage, and then he had to pay back his debts. He panned up and down the Fraser River, but he never struck it rich, so he then ended up working on the railroad. He faced a lot of hardship and racism, but he didn't give up. If they hadn't come to Canada, if they hadn't come for the gold rush, then a lot of what we have here today, which is part of the Chinese history, wouldn't be here.
I am the great-great-granddaughter of Charles and Nancy Alexander. They were Black pioneers who came to British Columbia in 1858. They were in search of a life that wasn't encumbered by the racism that they were encountering elsewhere, a place where they could raise their families, where their kids could be educated, where they could find work. And they were integral to the founding of this province.
The miners never brought any women here with them, and they had to intermarry with the Nlaka'pamux women. When you really look, you could see the connections to those early miners' names, and a lot of those family names are in our communities now.
To us, gold was not part of our economy. The backbone of our economy at that time was our salmon, and it's also a lifeblood of our nation.
We do need our ecosystem, we do need the salmon, and we do need to continue our culture and pass it on to those future generations that are coming.
We know from the Barkerville experience that all the people that came realized that I wouldn't mind staying here in British Columbia and being part of this beautiful province. And it was all drawn around gold, but what formed there was a community as well.
We're building on a special legacy of people and history that's tied to the gold rush. That's our foundation.
Our future generations, our children today and our grandchildren will be stronger, not only culturally, but as a people. We have to begin with the young ones and grow with the young ones. And as they grow older, our culture will also get stronger. And that's what I see today.
We are a work in progress in British Columbia. We are creating a very interesting, diverse society of people of a variety of backgrounds merging here in various ways. This is a very, very attractive place to be.
It is extremely important to appreciate our diverse histories and our experiences. It shows that we have a common vision. It informs who we are as British Columbians, as Canadians.